This is the concierge, sir.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Concierge Confidential. I'm your host, Brian Ortega, and hopefully everybody had a very happy holidays. And this is the annual New Year's Eve prep podcast. So we are getting you ready for New Year's Eve in Las Vegas. It's something that we do almost every single year, and there's almost something new every single time that I do one of these. So I'll be going over a couple of key things you have to understand if you're coming to Las Vegas for the New Year's Eve spectacle, and a couple of key things you have to know before you get here if you're trying to experience New Year's Eve here in Las Vegas. So hopefully you guys are ready for the show, because we'll be kicking it off coming up next. Okay, everybody, let's go ahead and get into it. So let's get into the details of what you have to know if you're coming to Vegas for New Year's Eve. If you're coming to Vegas for New Year's Eve, you obviously figured out that it is the most expensive night to visit Las Vegas over a 2-day stretch. A lot of places actually make you stay, I believe, 3 nights if you're coming for New Year's Eve. So New Year's Eve this year is actually going to be during the week. So this is actually going to be one of those times where it's not going to be, it's always crazy, but it's going to be on a Tuesday and it's going to be on a Wednesday going into a Thursday. So not as crazy as when it's on like a Friday or Saturday or weekend. So that doesn't mean there's not going to be a lot of people. There is always a lot of people on the Strip for New Year's Eve, which we are going to be specifically focusing on the Las Vegas Strip for New Year's Eve. There are a lot of places that you're able to go watch fireworks in local parts of town. So M Resort, you can go to places like Durango, Green Valley Ranch, Red Rock Station. A lot of places where you can watch the local fireworks, but which are going to be much more, for the most part, affordable than it would be to watch them on the Las Vegas Strip, and it's not as much of a headache to have to get down to the Strip. So this is mostly for anybody coming to Las Vegas for the New Year's Eve event on the Las Vegas Strip and a little bit of downtown. We'll actually clean up the downtown stuff right now. If you want to watch it downtown, the only place that actually has real deal fireworks is going to be at the Plaza Hotel. That's always where they do any fireworks stuff that has to do with Las Vegas in downtown. Head over to the Plaza because they have sort of the right stuff they need to actually have the fireworks. So the intersection of Fremont and Main, which is essentially Fremont and First Street, will be shut down. There will be cops that shut down the traffic. People will all congregate there right before the fireworks, see the fireworks, and then they go. They are okay. I mean, they're very, very close. A lot of people, what they would end up wanting to do, they will end up going to the Legacy Club, which is inside of Circa, which essentially gets you to where the fireworks are shooting off right in front of you at the Circa Hotel. So if you want to do that, it looks like it starts at 7 o'clock. They are charging $368 after taxes and fees per person. It is an open bar and standing room only. So that is how you're able to book. And I believe that's the only available option right now is general admission, $368 with taxes and fees all included. So that is going to be over at the Legacy Club downtown. If you're underneath the canopy at Fremont Street, they do have a New Year's Eve toast, which happens on the main stage, which is in between, because there's many different stages on Fremont. It is the stage in between the D and the Four Queens. So there's a main stage there. That is where they have like the TV crews. That's where the mayor will come out, do a toast, the whole bit. Oscar Goodman sometimes is there, but that was when his wife was still the mayor. So we'll see if he does a toast this year. He's getting a little bit more frail. And moving into the next part is that if you do come to Las Vegas for New Year's Eve, I know it is the desert, but it is still December. It gets very, very cold, especially if you're out all night on the Las Vegas Strip or Fremont Street. So rule number one, dress warm. Dress as warm as you can. I know it's going to be really hot if you're going in and out of the casinos, but know that you will be outside. You typically want to get out of the casino, usually about an hour before the fireworks go off. I say that because you want to get a good spot, which most people start kind of congregating in those areas about 20 to 30 minutes before the fireworks go off, because again, everybody wants to be inside. But be ready to brave the outdoors for about an hour and 30 minutes, because the fireworks show itself is about 20 minutes long. So depending on how long or how good a view you want, it is important to get out of the hotels quickly. So you may have heard that I said out onto the Las Vegas Strip. Well, that is not just the sidewalks. That is the entire Las Vegas Strip, including where the cars go. So usually, this is important if you're driving in on the same day, usually about 5:30, the I-15 ramp from Flamingo and Tropicana, those will close. I'm assuming the one that also goes to the Cosmopolitan, which I forget what the name of that little bridge is, but it's a new on-ramp, or off-ramp, I should say. Those will all close starting at 5:30. So 5:30. And then at 6:30, the Las Vegas Strip will start closing traffic off from Spring Mountain to Tropicana. So essentially from the north end of the Strip, which is kind of near the Fashion Show Mall, Treasure Island, the Venetian, that's the road that goes on that street. It's called Spring Mountain, going that way. And then at 8 o'clock, the entire Strip will be closed off to vehicle traffic. So it is very important to note that the entire Strip will close at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. is when the whole Strip will close. And then you have to figure out how to get home. So keep that in mind. If you're coming onto the Las Vegas Strip, it will be very tight and very hard to get in and out of those options. If you are trying to cross the Strip for restaurant reservations or anything, it will be difficult because, again, you cannot drive anywhere. It will take forever to go up and down the Strip if you are going on the back road. So, for example, if you are staying at, let's use a hard one for everybody. If you are staying at Planet Hollywood and you are trying to get to the Fontainebleau, that is a very, very long trip if you're trying to get to that direction. There's not really a great back pickup for Planet Hollywood, and there's no real easy way to get to Fontainebleau unless you take Paradise, which is going to be super packed for that entire journey. So keep in mind that will be a very long trip to get home or get to where you're trying to get to at that point. I think getting home because, I might be on the Strip at that time. So that is important. Also, reopening, just so we get all the traffic stuff done, between 12:45 and 2 a.m. is when we're gonna start reopening roads for people to be able to drive to and from and opening stuff. So, and then also it's not ever like a timely thing. It can take a while. So usually expect about 100,000 to maybe 150,000 people on Las Vegas Boulevard at that time. It is a lot of people. So yeah. I do recommend you watch it out on the street. Actually, I have a lot of these things written down of different parties you can go to and all these different like all-inclusive price things. But my number one recommendation, if you are coming to Las Vegas to watch the fireworks, is figure out where the fireworks are going to be. So I think it's funny when I tee myself up like that and then I didn't have the answer in front of me. So historically, the fireworks... New Year's Eve fireworks. The fireworks that go off in Las Vegas are from a few hotels. So, and they're all synchronized and stuff, and you can never hear it when you're on the street. So it's kind of funny that way. So a couple of the places that will have fireworks will be, see, this is the thing, is like I did this and then I didn't have it ready for us. But before we actually get to the fireworks, because I have to look for it, you'll find a lot of these things that have like dinner times. New Year's Eve is the only time where they're very strict about dinner reservations. A lot of time they're prefixed. Usually after 9 o'clock, they are prefix menus. So usually it's going to be like $150 to $250 per person for most restaurants, unless you're going to a super high-end hotel, or restaurant, which will have much more expensive pricings for their menu for that day. So just keep that noted if you are going to be watching, if you're getting ready to watch the fireworks after dinner, that there is a prefix menu because everybody wants to watch them. And aha! I found it. It just takes a little bit of searching on the internet because that's what I do, because I was a concierge. The keyword for concierge is Google. So actually, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. It's like selling stuff. It's on the top of your brain, and you have to like sort of sell it, sort of like a sommelier, which, yeah, I know what wine I want, but hey, it looks cool when somebody does it like in a suit and can sell it. So the 10 properties that will have fireworks on the top of their hotels will be the MGM Grand, the Aria, the Planet Hollywood, Caesars Palace, Palms, Treasure Island, the Venetian, Resorts World, Fontainebleau, and of course, the Stratosphere Hotel. Those are the hotels on the Las Vegas Strip that will be firing off the fireworks. So typically, I will tell you which ones have some of the best ones. So MGM Grands are quite good. I do have to say that 100%. So MGM Grand's fireworks are really nice because it's a very large property, very good viewing, and there's lots of clear spaces right now because if you go like kind of where Tropicana used to be, so you can be kind of in the intersection of Las Vegas Boulevard and Tropicana, it gives you a great view of the top of MGM Grand, unobstructed from the Tropicana that used to be next door. The Aria Hotel, also great because that's a very long stretch of the street because it goes sort of horizontal with Las Vegas Boulevard. So you can actually be on Las Vegas Boulevard going north or south. I would recommend you want to be on the east part of the street, so that's going north, because that'll actually get you away from the building a little bit and get an even more prime viewing of the Aria Hotel fireworks. You actually want to be at the intersection where they have the new build where the Hawaiian Market used to be. And I didn't even look this up, but I can't do it like while I'm doing the pod. Their new like Vegas Boulevard space might actually have some viewings for the fireworks. And see, this is the thing is like once I start getting talking and started like figuring it out in my brain, like, what is like around there? I didn't think about this, but there is a place that gives prime views for this event. I'm really excited to actually look it up. I'm teasing you guys because I don't want you guys to know yet. But with that being said, the Aria, good fireworks. Planet Hollywood, also good fireworks. That's where you want to be at the corner of Harmon and Las Vegas Boulevard. That's where the big giant screen is. So you want to be in that intersection. It's a really good intersection to be in, but you want to be set back. So that's kind of interesting. So you actually want to be, again, on the east side. It's going to be hard to look up, but it's very doable. That's a good intersection to be at. A tricky one where people think Caesars Palace are the good fireworks. Caesars Palace has the worst fireworks for any big event in Las Vegas, whether it be 4th of July, New Year's Eve. You can't really see them is the biggest problem. They launch the fireworks off of like where the pool is or like the backside of where the pool is. And the buildings are so tall that you actually can't see the fireworks from there, unless they're different. So Caesars Palace fireworks aren't always the best because people think they shoot them off the top of their actual rooftops. They don't. They shoot them off of the lowest rooftop, which never clear the highest tower unless you're directly in front of Caesars Palace. Palms fireworks, legit. Although you have to be kind of like looking at them from, if you're on the strip, it's hard to see the Palms fireworks unless you're at the Palms. Then you have Treasure Island, good fireworks off the top of their, they actually do launch them off of the top of theirs. And then Venetian, also really great fireworks. They actually launched them off of their parking garages, but those look really good. And then also we're going to have the Stratosphere, which actually shoot them like from the back of stratosphere, which is kind of funny. And they also have a couple that shoot off the tops, but they actually shoot theirs off of their parking garages. So a lot of times the fireworks are shot off parking garages, which I think people don't know that, which is hilarious. A new one, Resorts World and Fontainebleau will be getting in on the action. So the north end of the strip, kind of popping. So I would say, leading into our preview of where to watch the fireworks from, the Fontainebleau might be the place to watch the fireworks from this year. And with that being said, we'll go into all of the places that you can actually pay to have like a viewing party. Now, so the Fontainebleau firework viewing party, we're going to go general admission on this one, $66.94, so $67 inclusive of taxes and fees to go watch the fireworks from the Fontainebleau. I believe that these are not all-inclusive. Really important to read the tickets for a lot of these. A lot of the viewings open at 9 p.m., so just remember that. They open at 9 p.m. for the most part. People will line up for the most part. But people don't really start getting there till about 10:30 for some of these viewings. Unless they're like a really cool spot that has heaters. But for the New Year's Eve at Fontainebleau, their ticket will get you entry. Ooh, you also get skate rentals. That's cool. 2 drink tickets for the $50. So it's $66 with all the taxes and stuff. So 2 drink tickets for the New Year's Eve fireworks viewing party at the Fontainebleau. I don't mind it. It's actually on their pool deck, which is a very large space, which you want a lot of large spaces when you want to find these things. And from there, you'll be able to watch the Fontainebleau fireworks, which will be very, very high. And then also Resort World's fireworks as well. And you'll probably be able to see the Treasure Island fireworks, maybe. I'm trying to sort of think out of the box. The wind might get in the way if you're trying to watch. So it's kind of one of those situations. But it's further enough down where you can kind of take a look. So that one you won't see all of the fireworks. Really important to keep that noted. As we move down, I did want to highlight this one. I don't recommend you go there. Actually, before I get to that one, let's go down the strip. So the Rose Rooftop at Resorts World, it's $20 per person, no drinks included. That is just for you to get your body on that rooftop. It is not the rooftop that you think it is. It is not the roof or the rooftop on top of the hotel or the rooftop bar on the top floor bar. That's 66. The 66 lounge that they have. It is not that. It is, I'm assuming that's for big players and that kind of thing, which that means there's going to be like 5 people there at Resorts World because they don't have that many. But it's $20 per person for their Rose Rooftop, which is actually like their rooftop on the level of where the pools are. So that's actually like where they have like meeting rooms and stuff. That is their outdoor like outdoor venue space where they have like weddings and corporate events and that sort of thing. So $20 per person for that one. Will be fine, but nothing's included. So that's kind of a bummer. So as we move down the strip, let's talk about the beer park. The beer park is always something I like to sort of recommend, especially for things that happen on the strip that require viewing, because they're smack dab in the heart of Las Vegas Boulevard. Prices for those are quite misleading. It says $250 per person. Make sure you read the fine print. When you do that, that is per person for a table of like 4 or 6. So when you add that all up together, most of the tables that I saw were running around $1,200, $1,300, $1,500 a table to watch the fireworks from there. And you honestly are not going to get a great view of any fireworks from there, especially if you outline the hotels that are having fireworks and where this is located. It didn't say the Bellagio will have fireworks. It didn't say that the Cosmopolitan will have fireworks. So you're only really going to be able to see the Planet Hollywood fireworks, maybe because they have a gigantic ceiling on top of them, unless they open it up, and maybe the Caesar's Palace fireworks. So I would say do not book at the beer park because you're not going to be able to see anything. You think it's smack dab in the middle, you're not going to be able to see anything. So that's sort of like an insider thing if been in Vegas. I do not recommend it. I do not recommend go to the beer park for the fireworks. I've said my piece. So as we move along, the New Year's Eve, okay, let's get to the fun one because I actually used to work here. And I've actually worked a New Year's Eve at the High Roller, the big giant wheel, the observation wheel in the heart of the Strip. So, important to note, the High Roller observation wheel is set back from the Strip, so it is not directly on Las Vegas Boulevard, which is never like a bad thing, especially when we're doing fireworks behind the hotels. And it actually does offer great views from the top of the balls when you are inside of them, the observation wheels, the capsules, if you will. So the way that this works is they do not sell. They sell regular tickets up until 9 o'clock. Once 9 o'clock hits, they actually close down the observation wheel. Then we spend about an hour typically turning it over so it's ready for our guests who purchase these tickets. And you actually are not in the wheel for that amount of time. You actually go to certain areas depending on your ticket package. So there are two types of packages that they have available. One is their silver tier package, which is the most affordable one. That one's going for, after taxes and fees, $283.50. So that will actually include, that's per person, by the way. So that'll include your admission onto one of the cabins for the ride. Each cabin will hold about 25 guests, so 25 guests per cabin, and you will be hosted in the Sky Lounge with a max of 100 guests. So they will take as many guests as they can, up to 100 for that silver package. So you will get, with that package, open bar up until you get onto the cabins. So I will explain something after I mention the gold tier, just so we can keep this thing moving. So if you're doing the gold tier, the gold tier will be $396.90 all inclusive. That's about $400 per person for the gold package. That includes everything that I just mentioned, max 25 guests per cabin, and you will be in the pre-roll section with up to 150 guests, which is another area of the High Roller complex that offers like views and stuff. But what is the difference? What is the difference between the silver and the gold? And here is the rub. Just so everybody knows, you will have a view of fireworks with either one of these packages. It just depends how good it is. So if you are doing the silver package, you will be on the lower of the total number of cabins there. So hang tight with me. We're going to do the High Roller thing. I believe it's 28. There's 28 cabins. So there's 28 total cabins. They are actually utilizing 10 of those cabins. So that is going to be the top 10 cabins on the High Roller. So with that being said, because we're doing all this math, so if you're doing the silver package, it is the 4 cabins that are the lowest of those 10. So 2 on one side, 2 on the other side, which are the bottom cabins. They're sort of like the level part of the wheel. So if you're looking at the wheel itself, it would be the ones that are essentially in the middle, like the very diameter part of the wheel up. So those 2 cabins on either side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is so much fun to do because I'm doing it like the wheel itself. And then the gold tier will offer it's the top 6 cabins. So it's the top 6 cabins of the wheel. So the very tippy top, and then you work your way down from there. So 2, 4, 6. That's how you go across. Important to note that your ticket does not include a bar car inside of your cabin. So all the open bar options will be in the in the lounge areas. This is an all ages thing, so you can actually purchase for a child, and they can do like an open bar for non-alcoholic drinks. So the open bar part is not inside of the cabin. It is in the bar lounge areas before you get on the cabin. They do have specific times you have to show up for. Just make sure you check that on the ticket when you are going to purchase your tickets for the High Roller. They do still have them available if you are so inclined and you want to check out the fireworks from the High Roller. It is pretty cool from up there. You will get unobstructed views for essentially all the fireworks at that point. So that really is, if you're willing to pay that price and have those kind of restrictions, kind of put on you, it is one of the better options in terms of watching the fireworks from like a once in a lifetime experience, which is, pretty cool. There's a number of restaurants that'll have views of the strip. That's up for you to kind of like look through, because there are a lot of them. But that's where I stand right now. So another option you can do, you can actually end up going to the Palms or the Rio. I was actually looking at the Palms deals. The Ghost Bar is what you're wanting to look at the Palms, because the one that gets like the really good view of the strip. But they don't have any prices right now. They could be sold out because it is a very popular venue, but it's actually quite small. So they don't have any prices for me to be able to tell you what they are. I would guarantee they're probably between like $350 and $400, and they might require you to get a table, which most of them are on the inside anyways. But it's a very small space. Another option, if you don't mind braving the Rio Hotel and Casino, which we all know how I feel about the Rio, it's probably going to offer the best view and experience of the fireworks on Las Vegas Boulevard. It is $250 all inclusive of drinks, probably a little like appetizers, but drinks, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, usually different types of brands, all inclusive from their Voodoo Lounge, which is a very large space, huge space, to be honest. I've been up there a couple times for like events, and it really does offer a beautiful view of the Las Vegas Strip. It's just part of the Rio, but beautiful view of the Las Vegas Strip from the Voodoo Lounge. You can't knock it. It's honestly one of the best places to see the fireworks. So for that 25 minutes that you're up there watching the fireworks, it is going to be awesome. But a space that I'm really excited for, and they have no prices because that's how companies like this work, is BrewDog. The BrewDog New Year's Eve. The BrewDog Brewery, which is across from Park MGM. I'm very excited to see what their prices are. So they will be having a 9 to 1 a.m. party. So that's good. Sorry for all the sniffling, guys. It's allergy season. Your New Year's Eve ticket will include open bar, which is nice, elevated buffet, champagne toast, which are always bullshit whenever you guys are doing any of these experiences. It is, which wonderful view, probably one of the best views in town of Center Strip. It is $230 per person. That's $295 per person, including taxes and fees, for that whole experience, which is not bad. I would say, because it's always about comparing like what's worth it, what's not. This is probably one of the best options if I was going to be watching New Year's Eve on the Strip for the first time, once in a lifetime experience. I wouldn't mind doing this because they have really good views of the Strip looking north and south. So you really the only fireworks you can't see are going to be the ones on the north end of the Strip, which are like, Fontainebleau, Stratosphere. But the amount that you're going to be able to see from the Planet Hollywood, the Aria, the MGM Grand are really unmatched. I think it's going to be really, really fantastic from that space. You'll be able to have a bird's eye view of everything going on. I think that's a really cool deal. And there's actually more if you look at this. So it's $295 per person. And then you can upgrade your viewing with the Las Vegas Strip Edge seating to secure front row seats to the fireworks with premium Edge of the Strip table add-on, which is another $50 per person. So it's $295 plus $50, so that's $345 per person. It actually ends up coming to like $350 per person. So keep that in mind. So for two people, this ends up coming out to For two people, this comes out to $718.90. Always weird numbers. So yeah, you could book it. Yeah. So that's what you get. I would say if this is like the thing you're coming to Vegas for, then you do it. You do it that way. They also have like nice, like, what do you call them? Fire pits up there, which is, very helpful when it's cold. So yeah, BrewDog. I think this is where BrewDog makes like 50% of their money for the whole year is from this event itself. There's also other places like Ocean Prime. Jason Aldean doesn't have anything listed because, they're getting kind of terrible at, marketing. Ole Red is actually having an event. It's open to the public and it's first come, first serve. But just remember, you can only see from the top floor, which is very, very small. So keep that in mind. If you're looking to view from the top floor, it is very, very small. So that's all I have to say about that. But the fireworks themselves are about 15 minutes long. So it's pretty long little experience compared from where I'm from Tucson, where we had barely fireworks every year because we were like, oh my God, we don't want to like have the mountain catch on fire. So very long time. It's synchronized, of course. Yeah. So thank you so much, guys. I think that was a pretty good episode. That was 34 minutes on one event, but it is one of our biggest events of the year. So if you are coming to town, hopefully you guys have a great time. If you are going to dinner, make sure you book now. Book now for New Year's Eve because those times do fill up. And some of your favorite restaurants after 9 o'clock, because people like to eat late, will have prefix menus with particular pricings. So it might be more expensive than you think it is. So it is a very expensive event. It is an awesome time in Vegas if you've never done it before. But we were voted the number 2 best place to experience New Year's Eve is in Las Vegas. So thank you so much, guys, for listening. Hopefully you guys had great holidays. I will see you next week right before New Year's Eve and give you what I'm looking forward to in 2026. So if you see me out in town when you're here for New Year's Eve, come up, say hello. But remember, keep it confidential.